What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to show you how to make a very simple, easy table runner. I've heard this runner called many names, like the 15-minute table runner or last-minute table runner. But since I'm going to be using my serger as well as my sewing machine, it's more like 5 minutes. Here's what you'll need. You need one piece of fabric that's 18 inches wide. Cut the length of the fabric. You'll need one piece that's cut 12 inches wide by the length of the fabric, some pins, and a sewing machine. Let's get started. Open up your 18-inch piece of fabric so that it's right side up. And then lay your 12-inch piece on top, matching the long edge. And pin if needed. And more than likely at the bottom your fabrics aren't going to match, and that's okay because we're going to trim it off later. Now you just want to take this to your sewing machine and sew with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And since I have a serger, I'm just going to go ahead and use my serger to save some time. Okay, here's my seam. You want to press your seam to the 18-inch fabric, if that makes any sense. And then you want to line up, pin, and do the same thing. And you should have a tube that looks like this. And as you can see, I pressed my seams going out. The next step you want to do is take your tube, turn it inside out, now we need to find the center of our table topper here. So what we're going to do is fold it so that our seams are matching. And you're just going to take a hot iron, or you could finger press it, or put pins right here. But I'm just going to take a hot iron and iron right there just to make a little crease. And that's going to help me line up my center. For our next step, you want to open this up the other way, and then match your little creases. And you could put a pin right there. This will help us line this up perfectly so we have enough border, equal amounts on both sides. You want to do that to both sides and then take it over to your ironing board and press it flat really good. And now I want to cut this to the finished size. And mine's going to be 36 inches. You could have it longer or shorter, but I find that 36 inches is pretty good for a table runner. So I'm just going to take my rotary cutter here, line up this on a line, and hack away. Now you're going to want to flip this around and fold it in half. And you want to match up these corners pretty well. And stick a pin in there. Do the same thing on this side. Now you're going to take this over to your sewing machine or your serger, and you're going to sew down this end right here. And I like to start at this end where you put your pin just to keep these in line, and that'll help us later on. After you've sewed both sides, you should have something that looks like this. Now whether you sewed this with your serger or with your sewing machine, you want to come to the edge that has the fold and just take off a little bit of the corner point, just a little bit, on either side. And then you just kind of want to finger press the ends here and make a crease, because our next step is then we're going to open this, take our finger, push the point through, and then you just want to line up this seam with your finger press, and it should form a triangle. You want to do that to both sides. And if you need some help to get that corner point sharp, just use a bone folder. Really does help make them sharp. Now you just want to take this back to your ironing board and press all this down nice and flat. If you sewed this with your sewing machine, you want to press this seam open. If you used a serger like I did, just press it to either side. Now you can leave it just like this if you want to. If you don't like this flap here, you could just do a couple little hand stitches and sew that down. You could also put a decorative button and sew those down, or just a plain button would be even cute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch right where these two fabrics come together, which is called stitching in the ditch. And then I'm going to turn and I'm going to stitch this fabric as close as I can, and that's called top stitching, just to get this fabric flap anchored down. I have a great new fall table topper. It was fast, easy, and quick, and I hope you give it a try. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave a comment. Thanks for watching.